I'm a little bit sick, so I might sound a little bit weird. TwitchCon is going on right now, and Twitch fucked up big time. If you don't know what TwitchCon is, it's an event where people can just essentially come and meet their favorite streamers, and it's an event that's held by Twitch. The fact that Twitch is in charge of the event means that Twitch is in charge of safety and security, which they fumbled on big time. So Emiru is one of the biggest examples of how Twitch is fucked up recently over the last 24 hours. Twitch was having her do a 2-hour meet and greet. The reason why I say Twitch was having her do a 2-hour meet and greet is because she had 2 events that she was going to do. One that she wanted to do, like by her own volition, and this 2-hour meet and greet that Twitch was making her do. She stated in a live stream before that she didn't want to be in one place for 2 hours. It just seems like a security risk, especially with all those weirdos out there. And everything's been a little bit touchy around this year's TwitchCon. A lot of people have been scared and a lot of streamers have been pulling out. So I'm going to show you the clip that everyone's been talking about in regards to the Emiru situation, where this guy just walks up to her and like a fucking weirdo tries to go in for a smooch.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna lie though, that guy had determination in his eyes. I'm surprised none of the security guards there decided to get a bit closer once they saw this happening. This guy was bum rushing her. Also, the security guard that does end up doing something is her own fucking security guard. Thank God. Am I right? I also want to say it wasn't her preferred security guard. Twitch banned her last security guard for holding a stalker in place until like police arrived. How the fuck do you ban a guy for that? That's exactly what he's supposed to do. He didn't suplex him. He didn't throw him through a wall. He didn't dislocate his shoulder. He didn't lick his weenus, for crying out loud. Like, what did he fucking do that like deserved a ban? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Emiru did manage to get a guard though, and thankfully he pushed that weirdo out of the way before he could get that smooch off, or anything weirder could have happened. Weirder? Why am I saying weirder? Anything more dangerous would have happened, because what if he would have had a knife, a needle, a gun? Like, I wouldn't really trust Twitch to stop a man with a gun to come into the fucking event, considering other clips that I've seen too. We will go to those clips. I have a couple clips to show as evidence that, again, Twitch just is not taking care of their streamers well. The security and safety that they were promising is pretty much just a fart in the wind. What we are going to look at now, though, quick, is Emiru's response. Now, we're going to come back to this one more time because we're only going to look at the beginning where she says, "Hey, everything's good. Yesterday, the man who assaulted me was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon and even in front of other creators' meet and greets to grab me and my face to try and kiss me. Fortunately, he wasn't able to, but a lot of people have pointed out that it could have been a lot worse. Knife, needle, gun. I'm obviously shaken up by what happened, and it's not the first time I've dealt with something like this. But to tell you honestly, I'm a lot more hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the act. Like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. The security in the clip who reacts as my own security. My favorite and user security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm and bringing him to police at the past TwitchCon. However, there were at least 3 or 4 TwitchCon security staff in the area who did not react and let the guy walk away. What type of fucking nutty world do we live in where someone just grabs the streamer? Like, I don't know. That was clearly assault right there. I don't think any other person walked up to her and bear hugged her and went in for a smooch. What the fuck? What's even nuttier is after the fact, Twitch didn't even do anything still. They didn't go check on Emiru, they didn't ask if everything was okay, and they did not apprehend the guy. But we'll look at Twitch's response because it says they did. Here's this pile of dog shit. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. As you can tell, we will do whatever we can to cover our ass. Because what they go ahead and say is, in line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security were on site and responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they were banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. That's a crock of shit. Let's go back to what Emiru's posted. We'll go at the bottom. In Twitch's statement, they said that the guy was immediately caught and detained. I'm sorry, but that is a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me. And it felt like this only happened because my manager was pressing for it, and not because the TwitchCon staff that were present thought that it was necessary. Here's the thing. I know that there's going to be people out there. Oh, this is just one person. It's happened to one person. Sure, it's terrible. It's assault, but this just happened to only one person. Oh my God. Stop freaking out. Okay. You know what? Whatever. You think that way if you want. I don't agree with that train of thought, but I have evidence that it's not like that was the only guy let through. Here's an instance that really isn't that bad, because I do believe that maybe this guy was actually meant to be there, but the technology was failing. I don't think Twitch staff present should be making those decisions.
Thank you.
Ingrid, right?
Yeah. We'll just scan in, and then we're meeting him up front.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did it work?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Again, this case might be a little bit different because I do think that this guy has a little bit more of a reputation, but it doesn't matter. I don't think that every security guard is going to know everyone, right? I don't think that that should have been allowed to happen. They should have just made sure the technology fucking worked. Because if it doesn't work with that guy and they're just letting him through because there's so many people coming behind them and they feel pressured, how many other people did they maybe let in that weren't as recognizable? This is the next and last clip that I have. It's going to be a little bit longer, but it's this guy essentially talking about how he managed to sneak into Emiru's meet and greet. So again, Emiru seems to be a very prime target because she's a very well-known streamer. She has a lot of fans. This is a dangerous situation when Twitch is setting up events, essentially forcing their streamers to do things that they don't want to do, and then stuff like this happens.
Now that I'm done with the meet and greet, I might as well tell you guys, whoa, look at this BMW. I might as well tell you guys I'm sorry. I might as well tell you guys what the fuck I actually did to get into the line. Hey, I snuck in. I don't know what else to say. I was in line waiting for the meet and greet, and I figured, well, I got some intel that that you had to make a reservation for the meet and greet in the beginning of October. I never did that. I just knew where I had to be.
So as you saw, he's just talking about how he has the intel from fucking someone. I don't know. Jeff Bezos maybe messaged him and let him know how to do it. But Dan Clancy, or DJ Clancy as some may know him, has been claiming essentially that TwitchCon is Fort Knox. Nothing can go wrong. Well, that's clearly a lie. As you saw with that last clip, he was an actual TwitchCon attendee. There we go. But apparently, you can just go to wherever the fuck you want afterwards, and there's not really much security after you get through, because he was just able to go to where he knew he had to be because he got the intel. I don't know, Emiru's a big streamer, and I'm surprised that this is the reaction that Twitch had. Yes, of course they're going to try and cover their ass. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the fact that they just didn't do anything in the moment. They didn't have their people on high alert or like paying attention, like whatever. It just doesn't make much sense to me, because what if a smaller streamer, not a big streamer, not like Emiru, like has thousands and thousands of thousands. What if there's a smaller streamer that decides that they want to go to TwitchCon? They have 500 to, even 1,000 people that watch them. They're not that high up on the sub list, so Twitch doesn't give a shit about them, right? What happens if someone freaky and someone weird shows up to their event? Twitch needs better protocols. I do think that next year, if they don't, honestly, I think they already fucked up enough this year that next year is going to be an event that probably gets skipped out by even more streamers, just because this year people did skip out quite a bit too. I don't know what else to say apart from I think Twitch should have definitely taken this much more seriously. After this first showing, which is a terrible showing, by the way, like you've definitely decreased the trust in Twitch's security a lot. I honestly was kind of rooting for you guys, thinking, hey, maybe they'll actually pull through. Let's see what happens. And this is what fucking happens. When you even put the slightest modicum of faith in a big enterprise where all they care about is money, that's what you get. That's my fault. They shouldn't have let it happen to begin with. There's been so much shit with streamers recently. I've seen so many stabbings. I've seen so much concern over safety. And it's not like they don't know this. The CEO, like I said, has been going on to live streams trying to push it, trying to say it's safe, trying to say you have nothing to worry about. This is something to worry about. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.